In 672 BC, Rome was still a young kingdom shaping its identity. After the long, peaceful reign of Numa Pompilius, the Roman throne passed to a radically different figure, Tullus Hostilius. Roman historians such as Livy and Dionysius of Halicarnassus describe Tullus as Rome's third king. Tullus Hostilius was born into a noble Roman family with strong military roots. His grandfather, Tullus Hostilius, had fought beside Romulus, Rome founder, during the conflict with the Sabines and had died in battle. Tullus likely came of age between 700 and 680 BC in a Rome still surrounded by rival Latin and Sabine communities. Though few concrete details exist about his youth, early Roman sources agree that Tullus was raised in a society where warfare, honor, and civic duty were deeply entwined. His family's legacy and status in Roman society positioned him for leadership. Upon the death of Numa Pompilius in 673 BC, the Roman throne stood vacant. The Senate entered a period of interregnum before electing Tullus Hostilius as the next king. According to Livy, he was confirmed by both the Senate and the popular assemblies. His election marked a sharp ideological turn. While Numa had strengthened Rome's religious institutions, Tullus dismissed ritual in favor of conquest. From the outset, he projected the image of a warrior king, seeking to strengthen Rome not through divine favor, but through the sword. By 669 BC, Tullus launched one of the most significant military campaigns of his reign, a war with Alba Longa, an ancient Latin city and Rome's ancestral cousin. Rather than destroy each other through a prolonged war, the two cities agreed to decide the outcome through a ritual duel. Each side offered a set of triplet champions, the Horatii for Rome and the Curiatii for Alba. The Roman Horatii triumphed. Following the symbolic but bloody victory, Tullus ordered the destruction of Alba Longa and incorporated its citizens into Rome. This act dramatically increased Rome's population and influence, setting a precedent for absorbing defeated rivals. Tullus' reign did not rest after Alba Longa. He continued his aggressive campaigns against the Sabines and the Etruscan city of Fidene. According to Dionysius of Halicarnassus, these military actions were driven by both territorial ambition and a desire to secure Rome's borders against recurrent threats. Tullus placed great emphasis on discipline and tactical organization, transforming Rome's military from a loose militia into a more structured fighting force. These efforts reinforced the idea that Rome's destiny would be secured not by prayer but by power. While Tullus was a warrior at heart, he understood the importance of political integration. After destroying Alba Longa, he invited many of its noble families to join the Roman Senate. This decision increased the Senate's size and diversity, creating a more robust political body. It was one of the earliest examples of Roman expansion by assimilation, a pattern that would define the Republic and Empire for centuries. By blending new elites into the Roman framework, Tullus strengthened loyalty and ensured long-term stability. Though not known for religious piety, Tullus did contribute to Rome's urban and civic development. One of his most lasting legacies was the construction of the Curia Hostilia, Rome's first permanent Senate house. Named after him, this building would serve as the meeting place for the Senate for hundreds of years. It signified Rome's evolution from a tribal settlement into a governed city-state. Tullus' reign, therefore, was not just marked by conquest, it also helped lay the structural foundation for Roman administration. In the mid-660s BC, Rome was struck by a devastating plague. Many believed the calamity was divine punishment for the king's neglect of religious rites. Livy reports that Tullus, until then skeptical of divine rituals, began to fear the wrath of the gods. Attempting to appease Jupiter, he sought to replicate the sacred rites once performed by Numa Pompilius. However, according to tradition, he performed the rituals incorrectly. This not only failed to lift the plague but allegedly provoked further divine displeasure. The incident marked a significant shift in public perception, from seeing Tullus as a hero of conquest to a king possibly cursed by the gods. Around 640 BC, Tullus Hostilius died in mysterious and dramatic fashion. Livy writes that he was struck by lightning, a divine punishment for botched religious ceremonies. While modern historians regard this as mythologized storytelling, the symbolism was powerful for early Romans. His death, following the religious failures and plague, was seen as evidence that the gods still demanded reverence and ritual from their kings. His 32-year reign came to a sudden and ominous close, bridging the age of legendary kings with the rising structures of Roman civic order. Tullus Hostilius left behind a legacy that shaped Rome's self-image for generations. He was remembered not as a philosopher king or a priest, but as the first true war king of Rome, a monarch who embraced conquest, broke old orders, and enlarged the city-state through force. His destruction of Alba Longa and incorporation of its people set a model for how Rome would grow, by conquering, then assimilating. His military success laid the psychological foundation for Roman expansionism, while his architectural contributions ensured that governance had a physical seat in Roman life. Even his flaws, particularly his religious neglect, served as lasting lessons. Later Roman kings, and eventually